Greed is quietly eating this country. Let me ask you a question. How much money does one person actually need? No, seriously. At what point does I want a better life become I don't care who is suffering as long as I get more? Stay with me because by the end of this video, I think you'll understand why some of the biggest problems in this country are not caused by poverty. They are caused by greed. And there's a difference. You see, I've been thinking about something lately. Everybody talks about the lack of money. Very few people talk about the obsession with having more. Not enough, just more. More land, more houses, more cars, more contracts, more positions, more profits, more power. And somewhere along the way, contentment become a forgotten virtue. Now, don't misunderstand me. There's nothing wrong with ambition. There's nothing wrong with wanting a better life. There's nothing wrong with success. The problem begins when your success depends on someone else suffering. Think about it. How many employees are working full-time jobs but still cannot afford a decent life? They wake up early. They work hard. They help businesses grow. Yet, at the end of the month, their salary disappears before the month is halfway over. Meanwhile, the business is making money and the owner is buying another car, planning another vacation, building another property, posting pictures from another luxurious destination. And the same workers who created that value are struggling to pay even rent. Now ask yourself a simple question. Is that ambition or is that greed? Because there comes a point where the issue is no longer making money. The issue is refusing to share value fairly. And greed doesn't stop there. I have seen people working 3 jobs, 4 jobs, not because they are chasing a dream, but because one job no longer is enough to survive. Think about how strange that is. A person works all day, then works again at night, then works on weekends, yet still lives with constant financial anxiety. What kind of system requires people to be exhausted just to remain afloat? But perhaps the most disturbing examples are the ones involving human lives. Because money is one thing, life is another. When a patient enters a hospital, they are not bringing business opportunity. They are bringing a human emergency. And yet sometimes it feels like compassion is becoming secondary to profit. As though the question is no longer, how do we save this person? But what can we gain from this situation? And that should concern all of us because every profession exists for a reason. Business exists to create value. Leadership exists to serve people. Healthcare exists to save lives. The moment profit becomes more important than purpose, society begins to break down. You see, greed is fascinating because unlike hunger, greed is never satisfied. The person who has 1 house wants 3. The person who has 3 wants 10. The person who has 10 is already looking at 20. The finish line keeps moving. And that's why greed is so dangerous. It convinces people they never have enough, even when they already have more than most. The real tragedy is that greed doesn't only hurt the poor. Eventually, it damages everyone because no one builds a prosperous society whilst everybody around them is struggling. You see, you cannot enjoy true security in an unsecure community. You cannot enjoy true prosperity in a collapsing economy. And you cannot build a healthy nation when everybody is trying to take more than they contribute. Now let's return to the question I asked at the beginning of this video. How much money does one person actually need? Because maybe the issue isn't that people want a better life. Maybe the issue is that we have forgotten where ambition ends and greed begins. And here's the question I want you to think about. If everybody in this country suddenly become as greedy as the greediest person you know, would this country become a better place, or would it completely fall apart? Think carefully before you answer, because your answer might reveal the real problem we have been facing. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, because a society is not destroyed when people become successful. No, a society is destroyed when people become successful and stop caring about everyone else.